Hi there, it's Emma from Millward Main Co. We often get asked, can I put my business mobile phone costs through my company as a limited company director? The answer to this is normally yes. However, there are a few things you do need to be aware of. The first thing is the contract in the business name? This means that the business name would appear on the invoice to you as the customer. If that is the case, then you can claim the full cost of the contract as a business expense. Additionally, any VAT can be reclaimed if the business is VAT registered. And you can also claim the cost of the actual mobile phone itself, so the handset, and that would also be a business expense. In this case as well, there would be no taxable benefit charge on you as an employee or a director, as long as it's limited to one phone per employee or director. And that means that there's no personal tax to think about, even if you are using the business for personal calls. However, this does change if the contract is in your personal name. If it is in your personal name, you cannot claim the monthly contract fee as a business expense, even if you do use the phone for work. In the past, often phone contracts were itemised, so you'd get a monthly invoice with details of international calls or data usage, and you could claim those specific business-related calls as a cost. However, this doesn't normally occur anymore, and it's quite rare, so often it's just a lump sum charge. Even if you are not claiming the business contract through the business, you can still potentially claim the purchase of the phone. For it to be a valid business expense, you do need to make sure the invoice is in the business name, the business pays for it directly, and the phone is generally used for business purposes and not personal usage. You can have a little bit of personal usage, but as long as it's primarily business purposes. If you do this, then the phone is owned by the company, and then the full cost can be claimed as a business expense. So I guess the question is whether it's worth it. Often business phone contracts are more expensive than personal contracts, and often they do get you tied in for a bit longer, so they're less flexible. However, there are some more cost-effective business contracts out there. We've got a few that we've detailed in here. So it's worth considering what's right for you. It may be that the tax saving and the VAT saving adds up so that it makes sense to purchase a business contract, which is slightly more expensive. However, it really does depend on your circumstance. So if you're not sure, we'd advise getting in touch with us and we can take you through the different options. So the key points: if the mobile phone contract is in your company name, you can claim the full cost, including VAT. However, if it's in your personal name, then the additional business-related costs are now quite rare, so they're often not claimable. Business phone contracts do come at a premium, so it may not make sense to claim it as a contract or a business expense. However, you can still purchase a phone through the business as long as the invoice is in the company name, and that would be a valid tax-deductible expense. If you are a sole trader and not a limited company director, then there are different rules. If you are a sole trader, then you can claim for a percentage of the total cost, the business usage cost. So you'd estimate what percentage of the time you use your phone for business versus personal. And then the same would apply to the actual purchase of the handset. You can then only claim VAT back on the business use proportion as well. So these are the key points when considering whether to purchase a mobile phone for your business or not. If you do have any questions, just get in touch and we'd be happy to help.